Hey everybody. So recently I just been called a racist by an old friend, and what happened was I saw this picture basically of all these teenage kids in Orange County, California, and they had a swastika sign cake or something, and they were set, and it was Song King saying how shocking this was, and I simply commented it wasn't really that shocking to me, since Orange County is full of a neo-Nazi. Basically, Orange County is controlled by a neo-Nazi gang, and it's been that way for a long time. I mean, they've been dealing with that situation for almost 50 years, and there's a lot of racists though, basically, and I simply said it wasn't that shocking, and I simply got called a racist for saying this, but I'm not at all racist. If you know me at all, you know I'm not anywhere close to being a racist, because this is the one thing that I've always believed, and I still believe this to this day. Everybody on this earth is all human. We are all humans. We all come from different walks of life, and we all have different opinions on everything. No two people are the same, and human emotion, the only thing that's similar about humans is human emotion. We're all the same in the way that we can all be racist. We all can have hate. We all can love. We can all have happiness and all this kind of stuff. That's the only way humans are similar. Other than that, we're completely different from each other, and I think that's okay, because I embrace change. You know, I'm different than most people too, and I'm okay with this change. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being different, because being different isn't a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. I mean, it would be boring if everyone was just the exact same, carbon copies. But anyways, I got called a racist simply for stating an issue that has been plaguing this Orange County, California for a long time now, and it just shows how far people are gone, that we can't really have a civil conversation about real key issues in this country anymore. And you can do something as simply as describe the history of a place and the culture of a place, and without understanding those two things, you can never change the minds of people. You also can't change the minds of people who just simply won't have their minds be changed. I mean, there's not much you can go there and do there, because people are just going to if they're not willing to open their minds and their hearts to new ideas, to different ideas than they are, you know, there's nothing you can do with that. I mean, you're basically at war if you don't sell any values about each other. And this is something I've been seeing a lot from the left, is that they won't engage anymore. They simply block. They will simply delete. They will simply do all this. They just simply won't engage anymore with the other side, and that's unfortunate. That's really, really, really unfortunate, because I like those engagements. I like people coming together with different ideas and talking about key issues, because we can reach something. We can reach a brand new idea this way. And if we're not willing to do that, we're not willing to have those conversations, and we just want to delete every comment that we dislike, or we want to block everyone we just dislike simply because they have a different opinion than us, then how can we ever come together as a nation? We can't. And this is leading us to civil war. It wasn't that long ago where I made an abortion argument, simply saying I think all life should have a chance, and a friend basically deleted my comment there. And I'm not mad about that either. I'm not really mad at anything about this too. I've come to realize it's natural when dealing with people in all walks of life. People just don't want to engage no more, especially the people on the left. Democrats do not want to engage with you anymore, and it's getting dangerous out there. There are many stories of false hate crimes to try to pass their narrative. They're basically the group of hate right now. I mean, if you're willing to block someone simply because they have a different opinion than you, or because you don't like what they're saying, or something like that, you're part of the problem. Then you are part of the problem, and the best way to do this is to engage with the people that you disagree with, because if you don't engage, how are you going to ever spread your ideas to anyone else other than the people in your group? You can't do that. And I like the ideas of new ideas being spread all over the place. We need ideas, and the only way to have these ideas is to have those conversations, is to have conversations where we disagree, because we might be able to reach an area where we can be able to agree with each other. And even if we can't, we can agree to disagree. But if we can't even agree to disagree, I don't know where we're going to be headed. The only place that I know that we'll be headed is war. Civil war is coming, people, and you can see it all over the place. Like I said, I've been called racist, hate, all this kind of stuff today, and that's just not who I am as a person. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm not that type of person either. And I never said anything that was even remotely racist. So, and it kind of, it kind of shows that if your priority is race, if your number one thing is race, my opinion on that issue is you might be the racist then. If you're really sitting there and worried, about race, that's your very first thing to worry about, then it's probably you the racist. And it's this thing where everything's racist now. I heard milk was racist now, trees can be racist now, all this sorts of stuff can be racist now, and it's just ridiculous. It really, really, really is ridiculous that we can't sit down and have a conversation without accusing each other of being racist when we're really not. And this is the game that they like to play, because they know that they can't win the argument. If you can't win an argument, your best way to win that argument then is just call the other side a name and walk away from the conversation. And we've seen this a lot with the left. There was a story recently of basically debate happening, and it was on immigration, and basically this kid basically quoted Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, and was immediately told he lost the debate, and the other debate team walked out simply because they didn't like what he had to say. They had no argument for what he had to say. They just called him a racist and walked out. And the teacher said, you can't use Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson because they're racist, and walked out. Ben Shapiro is a Jewish man. He ain't a racist. White supremacists actually hate his guts simply because he wears a yarmulke on his head. Yeah, he's Jewish. And that just found to me how people can call him a neo-Nazi, a racist. He's like the only Jewish neo-Nazi in history. It's really funny, actually. And he's not sorry about being Jewish either. He's formerly Jewish, and they still want to call him names simply because they don't like him. They don't like what he has to say. They don't like him at all. And if people listen to Ben Shapiro, if people listen to Jordan Peterson, if people listen to people like Dave Rubin, if you listen to people like Candace Owens, Brenham Tatum, the Mason Lucas, even hell, even Kanye West. I'm not a big Kanye West fan, but I do like Heartless. But Kanye West, you saw what happened to Kanye West. The left tore him up simply because he wanted to support Trump. And they called him every single name in the book. They said he wasn't a real black person. If there's anything more racist than that, I don't know. And it just dumbfounds me how people can, be like that. Like, how they can just sit there and be racist, but then try to say that you're the racist. And it's just wrong and immoral. And we all need to come together as a society and as a human beings, because if we don't, we're just going to hate each other for all eternity. And like I said, a civil war in this country is very likely. I think it's going to happen very soon. And I think people are starting to pay attention to that. And hopefully people start to back away from that. But we'll see where this goes. Thank you.